Good evening, everyone. And as you can see, it's going to be a little bit Max style today because I'm going to have some more interviews in the studio this week, and I still haven't figured out how to set up the studio for interviews and live streams. But I'm happy to see that there's a lot of going on in the chat already. So first I want to say hi to Katrina. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Chatty Red. Hi, Hank. Hi, Igor. Hi, LV. Hi, Jasper. Hi, Leonard. And hi, Dude. And of course, not to forget, hi, Conservator. Thanks for being here and helping out a little bit moderating. Really appreciate that one. And hi, KFH. And Glasgow Kiss. Hi. Haven't seen you in quite some time, but that's because I can't visit Max too often. And other channels as well. So I haven't seen many of you so often. So good to see you. First of all, I want to get started, of course, with the 47.5 billion euros. The fun part is you can read a lot in the Express and other very Brexit-friendly newspapers about the government not willing to pay those 47.5 billion euros. But it's really funny when you listen to the EU about this. It's it's a bit weird because the government claims it's just an estimate of the EU, and the EU says no, that's the final numbers. We calculated them properly. We haven't estimated. We calculated properly. And on the other hand, they are saying they are denying to pay the full amount, but they haven't told the EU about this. As I said in the video, I think it's more a point of saber rattling for domestic politics, I guess, and to ease the Brexiteers a bit, because they already paid part of the 47.5 billion. This year they have to pay 6.8 billion. I'm not sure if it was euros or pounds. I guess it was euros. As a first installment, and they have to pay it over the year. And they already paid the first part of the 6.8 billion. And as I said, they haven't told the EU that they don't want to pay the full amount. And if you get a bill and you don't want to pay the full bill, do you tell your people or do you tell the one who sent you the bill? What do you think? So, I think it's more of a little more political show there than really what they mean. Because what else could it be? But that's typical stuff we are used from that government. And in the end, God knows how many billion euros they are going to pay. Nobody knows over the years. They have years' time to pay this. How much will the pound be worth towards the euro? So the amount will change anyway. Dude, you would tell no one and run away? If I would have to pay anyone 47.85 billion euros, I wouldn't run away. I just would file bankruptcy because that's the easiest thing to do then in that case. Maybe Boris Johnson can wash some dishes for the EU instead. Ego, that would be a lot of dishes. No, I'm quite sure that they will have to pay that because it's part of the withdrawal agreement. It was, if you have a look at the withdrawal agreement, there's a lot of detailed information in there about what's part of this payment and how to calculate it and when to calculate it and everything. And so it's just normal thing of that. If the British government was good in calculating, they could have calculated that themselves probably. And you don't have to send the sheriffs or the bailiffs. I learned there's a difference in the UK system with the bailiffs and sheriffs. Bailiffs don't have that many rights as sheriffs. I like the TV shows. That's why I know a little bit about that. Because don't worry, Mark, you wouldn't have to pay it all at once. Even the installments I can pay, even with some money from YouTube, that would, I don't know how old I would have to get to pay back 47.5 billion euros. No, but the system is quite easy because it's part of the withdrawal agreement, and now we have the TCA. And there are some mechanisms in the TCA that also can be used for breaking the withdrawal agreement. And that's what some Brexiteers don't understand either. The UK government can't just do whatever they want without consequences. Of course, they can do whatever they want, but things will have consequences. And there are a lot of consequences in the TCA that can be used. And one of them is punitive measures. And that includes punitive tariffs if they don't stick to the agreements. Today I once again had to make videos. You will see tomorrow on the Johnson protocol and about Frosty. And they still haven't understood that they negotiated that, they signed that, it's international law and not a suggestion. When you listen to Frost at the moment, you think that it's a suggestion again, but I come back to the North later. No, but this payment, they will have to pay it, not all at once, but they will have to pay it, and they will otherwise get their economy in trouble. And we're just talking about what, 5 or 6 billion difference between the invoice and what Boris Johnson is claiming they have to pay. For 5 or 6 billion, he will not risk to, well, yeah, okay, he will risk to the economy for everything he wants, but it's just 5 or 6 billion. So that would be even more stupid than what they did before. Yeah, the interest only comes up if you don't pay when it's agreed. And yeah, exactly. Movie lover fan 18, hi there. And if don't pay debts, no one will lend England money. That's another good point there. And of course, they want arguments with the EU. They want to blame the EU for everything, and that will continue for a long time. They did that while they were a member, and of course now they don't want to lose that one. They will continue to blame the EU, even if all trade with the EU would stop because of what they're doing, and so on and so on. They would still blame the EU for stuff. I'm just waiting for some really nasty laws they're going to make, and then to blame the EU for the consequences of those laws. I'm absolutely sure that's going to happen. Mike Kelke. Hello, my favorite German. Okay, could be you don't know so many. Anyway, thank you for that one. And Cthulhu, hi, great that you made it. You are sleepless. Maybe from the other side of the planet again. Big Marsh, hi. Welcome to my channel once again. Johnson is an expert in divorce bills. Yeah, but then that would make him know that you have to pay your divorce bills. I'm quite sure you had to pay a lot. But there are some other things he is acquainted to. No, but the UK will pay the settlement. People, I call it divorce bill in some videos as well, but it's just the Brexit or the withdrawal settlement with the EU. There's a lot of long-term commitments the UK made as a member of the EU. They still have to fulfill, and a lot of this money is for things like this. They still had to pay Big Marsh, what did you do? Is Nightbot still that strict that he kicked you even somewhere? No. There's a lot of payment for the time in the transition period. Of course, if you get all the benefits for some more time when you're already out of the club, of course you have to pay for those benefits. And KFH, I'll talk about the Euro final later in the stream. And they have to pay for a lot of long-term commitments they made. for stuff they started while they were a member in the EU, and they started it with the EU. It was a decision of the UK government of that time, and so they still have to pay for that. Nightbot doesn't like caps. I delete all cap stuff on my channel in the comments as well, so that's why Nightbot is set up like this, because that's considered shouting, and the most people writing all caps in the comments really mean that rude, and that's why it's a good thing. And of course, there's something I tried to bring it through on the live stream on Friday on another channel. The pensions for the MEPs from the UK, like Nigel Farage, are part of the settlement invoice as well. They have to be paid for quite some time in the future, and the EU doesn't want to pay that one. Of course, the UK pays their pensions, but via the EU. That's why this is a part of the settlement invoice as well. And the UK will have to pay that. Otherwise, it will have consequences for their economy. I remember very well that Boris Johnson said, fuck the economy, but he can't get through everything. I mean, at the moment, he's getting through with a lot. But I can't imagine that he can get through with really everything he's doing if it harms the economy. And the closer we get to the next election, which is still far away, but we will get closer to that election, he will have to be a little bit more reasonable towards his own people. And I mean the English, not the British. His politics is completely English focused, to be honest. That's why there are some newspaper articles at the moment about the future of the Union. Even if Scotland won't leave, there will be problems with Wales as well. To be honest, on this day, I don't want to talk too much about this, but I'll do a little bit about Northern Ireland later. But Northern Ireland might reunite with Ireland again. And so it always, at the moment, is a lot of English politics Boris Johnson does, and not British politics. That's the feeling when you have a look on the whole thing from the outside. Yeah, dude. Chat, you ready? Yeah, thank you. The pensions of the British EU Commission members, the council is made up of government personnel. They are out there, but Parliament employees, the employees of the MEPs, and all this stuff, that's all included in the payment. But they are just. Martin did something Nightbot didn't like. So, if but there are some other consequences of Brexit at the moment that we can see, that I think the solutions they are looking for are a little bit dangerous. And that is at the moment, I read a report in a German specialist, traffic specialist newspaper, that because of the lack of drivers in the UK, that from tomorrow on, they get more flexibility with their resting periods. And that Secretary of State Charlotte Weir said that. They say the driver security cannot be affected by that, but they get more flexibility when to do their breaks and after what time they can do that. That's something I really think is not a good thing. And they are reducing the resting times. I know what happened in Germany on the Autobahn a lot with accidents with truck drivers. In many cases, those are truck drivers that, against the law, didn't stick to their resting times. And now they want to do that on purpose to allow them to have less resting time Seriously. What's wrong with the picture? Dude. It's a resting truck driver. It was the only one. I of course have a program for my thumbnails and stuff where I pay every month to get the pictures and everything, because you need a lot when you do YouTube. And that was the most fitting one that I found for truck drivers' resting times. And it is a stock image. And I liked it, so that's why I picked it. No, but that's what I want them to do proper resting times and not cause any traffic accidents because they are not rested enough. And, well, Jasper, there you got one point. In the area of Kent, there's a problem with resting times because they don't have anywhere to rest, because there's not enough space still. And not talking about traffic jams and whatever. And the fun thing is, Brexiteers always come up when I'm talking about the lack of drivers, and it is still 100,000 truck drivers that are missing in the UK. And then they come up, one thing must be a lie. Either they are not, there is no lack of truck drivers, or there are no traffic jams in Kent and no problem with parking in Kent. They are always forgetting the UK drivers are not the only ones driving there. There are tons of drivers coming from the EU delivering something to the UK or delivering something to England, and they have to go back again. And we don't have that much of a lack of drivers. I heard something from Christian. I haven't seen him today, unfortunately, being here, but he said they have some lack of drivers in Denmark, but in Germany we don't. Not out of the normal part that a lot of companies are looking for drivers because the business is rising, but nothing out of the ordinary like the stuff we see in the UK. And the companies, the big companies, all still transport to the UK. They are used to dealing with third countries. The problem are only the SMEs, so the smaller companies that usually only trade with EU member states, and they never would have started trading with the UK if they knew that they would leave. And so they are in trouble with the bureaucracy and the costs and so on. But the big companies, they are all used to it. They're trading with third countries for decades. For them, there's nothing new. They just had to put their UK guys in another department of the company, most probably. Cthulhu says, in Canada, we have strict guidelines regarding driver's hours. It's a matter of public safety after all. Yeah, we do have that in Germany as well, and the UK has that as well. But the UK is taking that down now, and that's a really dangerous thing, and that's why I wanted to talk about this, and it's valid from tomorrow on. They're starting tomorrow to allow drivers to have shorter resting times, and I too believe that this is a danger for public safety. And I really can't imagine why they would do that. It's irresponsible from my point of view. Disney Magic Ship leaves Dover after 15-month stay as it begins UK cruise calendar. Yeah, a lot of ships are starting cruises again. I made a video on this with where people complained that this is an advertising video. No, they didn't pay me a cent for that. They were starting with cruises only for vaccinated or tested English people and just visiting parts of the island. But that's going to be extended soon. But I'm going to talk about COVID a little bit later as well. But I wanted to bring that up with the drivers. They better should put the drivers on their preferential visa list instead of endangering the public safety. motorways in the UK will be far more dangerous in the future from tomorrow on. I can tell you that. And of course, there are a lot of drivers that don't want to work in the UK anymore. And a lot don't want to go there in the first place because they got information about all the xenophobia going on in the treatment of foreigners at the moment by a lot of people. And reading a lot of xenophobic, homophobic Brexiteer people in the comments under my videos, I know exactly what they mean. I wouldn't travel there at the moment either. I would, but anyway, because I haven't been to Ireland before, and I always wanted to do that when I ever travel again. I don't know when the whole pandemic thing is over, when my time allows this and so on, and my money allows this, I will definitely, my next stay in an English-speaking country will be in Ireland. I'm absolutely sure about this, because on my channels I also learned there are a lot of nice people in Ireland. Because I met a lot of nice people online here on my channel from Ireland. So, but I want to talk quickly about one more thing. When I said the drivers don't want to go there, there's another thing about the claims with if it's so bad here, why did 6 million people apply for a settlement scheme? First of all, there are a few points about this. It's more than expected in the first place because the UK never knew how many foreigners are in the country. Because they don't have a registering system like, for example, we have here in Germany, where you have to register where you live. If you don't, you're in trouble. It's getting expensive. And the second thing is, it's 6 million, although more than 1 million has left. In London alone, 700,000 EU citizens have left London. Mark is going to be friends with Edwin Poots? What? Conservator, are you drunk before the game already? You'll be welcome, Mark. Thank you very much, Kathy. Declan, thank you very much. And Colin, thank you very much. When the time comes, I'll definitely ask you on my channel. I ask my Irish viewers what you suggest that I have to visit there. So keep that in mind. I will definitely ask you. No, but I was with the EU citizens in the UK. Second point is that a lot of people that are allowed to apply for the settlement scheme have done so, but it doesn't mean they are living there right now. There were regulations that you have been living there before the end of the transition period to give you the right for the future to have the same rights you had before Brexit. But that doesn't mean they have to live there now. And nobody of the government would know if they live there now or not. And so think about that one. That's something the Brexiteers always forget when they come up with the 6 million. Yeah, how many of those are still there? Some friends of mine still are. But they are, for example, a friend of mine is married to an Irish living in England, as far as I know. And she, of course, stayed there with the kids. Simon says, 50, a gay bar with Edwin Poots? There are no dinosaur gay bars or whatever. Oh boy. What's going on? Have you all been drinking already before the game? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, I better get to another topic. It seems to be something very wild here today. Let's get to Northern Ireland for a second. I made my videos for tomorrow today, and I didn't have the time to check now before the live stream about what's going on there, because some have been said that there might be some riots tonight already because of the marching season. But I will talk about this on Tuesday then, whatever happened there. But I just want to talk about David Frost here again and his claims, because I will have a video on 2 videos on Northern Ireland tomorrow. One about the behavior of the British government towards the Johnson Protocol, that they are forgetting that they negotiated that, they signed it, they ratified it, it's international law now, and they still think it's some kind of a suggestion, or it's still a work in progress. No, it isn't. It is the final agreement, the withdrawal agreement with the Northern Ireland Protocol. The only way that can end is if the Northern Ireland Assembly, within 4 years after the end of the transition period, would vote not to continue that one, so to discontinue the Northern Ireland Protocol. With the Northern Ireland Assembly supporting with a majority, they did that in December, I guess, the Northern Ireland Protocol. I, at the moment, really doubt that after 4 years it will be ended by the Northern Ireland Assembly, especially if you know the demographics, if you know the development in Northern Ireland, that we can expect that the majorities even will shift. And yeah, Declan, marching season starts tomorrow, but some people think that there will be some more stuff today. The bonfires have the EU flag. Yeah, I have a video on that one tomorrow on one of my channels. I think it's on this channel, but I'm making so many videos at the moment that I even don't know. When I'm talking about Britain, it comes up in other, or Ireland, it comes up on different channels in different connections with the channels, and so I sometimes don't know for which channel did I make which video, so I'm sorry for that one. But I guess it's on this channel tomorrow. And tonight they expect a lot to happen as well. But to be honest, I can believe that they'll even have some. They have the EU flag. I heard they had Irish flags for the bonfires tomorrow, and I'm quite sure some more stuff. That's not going to be so nice, but I will report on that one during this week, definitely. No, but let's get back to the protocol. There's a lot of stuff. The DUP, yeah, Edwin Poots, for the short time when he was a boss, he stirred up the whole thing with lies in the end, because the DUP, the ERG, and others from the Johnson government almost make it look like the Northern Ireland Protocol puts checks on people between England and Northern Ireland, puts checks on service and whatsoever. No, it's just checks on goods. And it's another point, they still say, why don't you let through the stuff that's only there for Northern Irish supermarkets? I don't know when I made this video. Was it 1 month or 2 months ago? When Maros Šefčovič said, just put a sticker on this stuff that's to be sold in Northern Irish supermarkets, and we're done with it. That's all. And they are still talking about this as if the EU never suggested that. And so there's a lot of lies going on there. They're putting a lot of oil on the fire because they want this trouble in Northern Ireland. That keeps them politically in place. And that is something so irresponsible that I really don't understand why the people still stomach that. Why no one is really doing something against it. Now, at least Keir Starmer finally opened his mouth a little bit. I'm going to have a video on that one tomorrow as well. But it's by far not enough. He sometimes had some good points and PMQs. But for my taste, Labour is doing far too less at the moment with the whole thing. A proper party would be able to gain so much benefit of all the wrongdoing of this government, but the opposition, I sometimes have the feeling they don't exist at the moment. And there's the point, I have another video tomorrow about Frost now blaming Theresa May for the Northern Ireland Protocol. That is the biggest fun on this planet, because Theresa May wanted the backstop. So exactly not the Northern Ireland Protocol. Theresa May never would have signed the Northern Ireland-Johnson Protocol. It's Johnson's signature under that protocol, not Theresa May's. She always said, I will never do this. And she even believed no English Prime Minister would ever do that. Well, she obviously didn't know Johnson good enough. And now he's blaming her. By the way, Theresa May's backstop would have prevented the whole issues of Northern Ireland. Just saying. Yeah, the UK government didn't want that. It wouldn't have been the Brexit they wanted, blah, blah, blah. But it would have prevented the whole thing we have now. We wouldn't have discussions about Northern Ireland the whole time if we had Theresa May's backstop. We only have the discussions because Johnson and Frost don't know what they negotiated and don't know what they signed. They obviously never read anything they sign until later when they have to implement it. And the problem is the EU now said, with the last extension, you have to do something with that. The problem is there had to be a lot of control posts in place, and really they had to build stuff. They still haven't done that. And they have now until September, and it's July. Usually you take at least half a year to build that stuff. And they still haven't really started to do that. So I'm sure in September we will have some fun again. Or short before September. But Frost said they want to bring up some plans before the summer breaks of the summer holidays of Parliament. So he just wants to drop a bomb and then go to holidays. It's another typical Frost, by the way. Even the UK economy will grow, especially compared to 2020. The question is how much it would have grown without Brexit. Yeah, that's something else that they are coming up with at the moment all the time. Also dealing with Northern Ireland, but for the whole UK, of course. Of course the UK will grow this year. After 2020, every economy will grow when the lockdowns are over and so on. By the way, yeah, I know Max made it very clear in his last live stream. What we all had in the UK, in Germany, that's what I can speak for, wasn't a real lockdown. A real lockdown we had in parts of Italy, where you're not allowed to leave your houses. We had some very few places in Germany where that was the case with the curfew and stuff. But in general, in the whole country, we didn't have a real lockdown, even if everybody's talking about the lockdown. But that's like everything when you try to explain something more complicated, you sometimes have to be a little bit less correct with what you're saying for the people to understand. And that's why everybody calls it lockdowns. We do the same in Germany. And that often is the case. I have to do this in some videos as well. And then some of these, what we call Korinthenkacker, hair splitters, appear in the comments. And it's not completely correct, blah, blah, blah. I have to try to make this understandable for people. I have made some very specialized videos on some issues that were really videos for specialists that are interested in. Sometimes I have to do this because there are facts that can't be simplified, but people are still interested in who deal a little bit more with the matter. But in the most of the time I have to keep it a little bit simpler for a broader audience. There are some things you can't do it, and so the same goes for the lockdown thing. If our whole population has to understand what's happening now, what the government is doing, you have to simplify things. Otherwise, they either won't listen and they won't understand. Not the majority. And so that's the point. So, But tomorrow you will hear a lot about Northern Ireland, as I said. And then we quickly have to talk about COVID, especially in the area of football. I will talk about later. But we have the discussion in Germany at the moment as well. We all know Boris Johnson wants to lift all corona measures on July 19th, although the incidence in the UK, the last time I looked, it was 267. Here in Germany, we're at about 6 at the moment. And with an incidence of 267, it sounds really unreasonable to lift all the measures. There are some completely unreasonable things they want to do, and that's, for example, the mask requirement. The mask requirement is not a very strong attack of your civil rights. There are other things where you can say this, but not with the mask requirement. The mask requirement is the last thing I would drop, and as long as there are infections, I would keep that one up. But they really want to drop that one. And they want to ease all the restrictions with an incidence of 267. There's one point, of course, with a certain number of vaccinated people. And if you keep an eye on the numbers of hospitalization, you can reduce the measures. We are talking about this. Many parties are talking about this in Germany at the moment as well. That if you keep an eye on the hospitalizations and the deaths, that you can still ease the measures if hospitalizations are low and, of course, the death rate is low. In the last week, we had, I guess, 6 deaths in the UK. And a lot of infected, but not many deaths and not many hospitalizations. But it's not the time now to lift all measures, especially not the mask requirement. And in Germany, they're discussing the same, as I said, but they're not saying to lift everything now. Now, nobody wants that. But they're talking about the time with a certain amount of vaccinations, and we right now are close to 50% of full vaccination. And the point in time where everyone got the offer for vaccination is in Germany, for example, supposed to be in August. And that's the point. When everyone was offered a vaccination, and there are only those left who deny the vaccination, then there's no reason anymore for a government to get a grip on civil rights. That would be against our constitution as well. But until we are at that point, and the UK is not at that point yet either, you can't do this. And Katrina says hospitalizations are up a lot with 5 NHS regions on black alert. So yeah, that's not a point. If you have that, that's not a point to ease the corona measures. Especially not just to keep your promise of your Freedom Day. He had to shift it once already, so his big victory thing is blown anyway. Yeah, it didn't happen on June 21st. And so they finally have to try to be a reasonable government. Mine is exaggerating a little bit, and I'm saying this even with a Christian Democratic chancellor. They have to balance it more, but it's a little bit complicated. They are trying to always get all the prime ministers of the states here on one common position, so we don't have totally different stuff in all the different states. Like now we have heard that the First Minister of Wales said that he will not ease all the measures on July 19th if Boris Johnson does that. Cthulhu says you can expect another spike in COVID cases after the 19th, then if Bojo gets his way. Yeah, and we already had a spike. I don't know if you've seen that video. Because of the football matches in the UK. Or the football matches with British teams involved. After one game, 2,000 new infections in Scotland alone because of that game. And just in Scotland. And that shows that it was far too early. 60,000 plus people in one stadium is still totally irresponsible. Yeah, you can't do that. And I'm quite sure with the finals we have the same fun again. Because especially if England would win tonight, in the celebrations nobody would care about any security safety measures because of Corona. But I'll get back to football at the end of the live stream. Yeah, and so easing the measures completely is too early. And I'm calling the Northern Ireland Protocol the Johnson Protocol because it's correct. He was the one responsible for that one, that we don't have the backstop, that we have that protocol. But I just see it again. They call it the Johnson variant. I'm sorry to tell you, but that is not legit to call it that. It was first discovered in India, and yes, it came more easily to the UK because of Johnson. But it's not he didn't cause the variant into existence. That happened somewhere else. And we will have more variants in the future until the whole planet is completely vaccinated and we ran through that. He's only responsible that it got to England that early and that quickly. But we have it in Germany as well. Okay, in the UK, the Delta variant is now with 99% definitely the dominant variant, and they already have some Delta Plus infections in England already. And but we have Delta in Germany as well. That's why our numbers are going up a little bit this week as well. Delta is more infectious, but we have more restrictions in line still. We lifted a lot as well because of the low numbers in my hometown. We are a little bit high at the moment in comparison. We are at about an incidence of 10. But an incidence of 10 still allows a lot of stuff. By the way, if you haven't heard me in that one video, so my second vaccination is now more than 2 weeks old. And so I'm completely protected now. And I hope that everyone else will do that as well. We also have the point here, especially older people that denied getting vaccinated, and other old people that have to deal with them because we have housing for elderly people, which is easier to live in and stuff, and they live to totally different people. And there's a group of people that haven't been vaccinated because they didn't want to, and now the vaccinated ones are concerned because of the Delta variant if they could be endangered by those. So I have a lot of talking to do there at the moment because a friend of mine is living there. And so, but because of my long COVID issues I have at the moment, I'm have been vaccinated a little bit earlier. Otherwise, I would be vaccinated now too because of the high numbers of vaccinations here in my hometown. But I'm through with that now, and I'm protected now. But as far as we all know, in 6 months I'll be vaccinated again. And BioNTech already, if I understood it correctly yesterday, already finished a special version of the vaccine for the Delta variant. So that will be much easier. Yeah, as an influencer and a politician, it will help a lot. I wouldn't call myself an influencer, by the way. I'm a content creator. I'm not trying to influence like the influencers we usually talk about. Yeah. We I don't know how it is in other countries, but what we see in Germany, our standard influences are a totally different kind of people than what Phil, Max, Big Marsh, me, all shorts and so on are doing here. So I wouldn't call myself an influencer, but it depends on how you define an influencer. So Yes, I'm certainly every year I'll be getting a flu booster and a COVID booster. Yeah, I don't get the flu vaccination, by the way, because I always reacted very badly on that one. But I was getting, of course, my COVID vaccination. So then, um, talking about reasonable, I quickly want to go to one point. It's more a European thing, but it's a decisive thing at the moment because the presidency of Slovenia just started in the EU Council. As you know, the the presidency of the Council of the European Union shifts every 6 months, and every member state holds it for 6 months in a regular turn. And now it's Slovenia. I informed you about what Portugal was doing the last 6 months on my European channel, and I will do the same, of course, with Slovenia because the presidency is always trying to get a lot of things done, and it's a trialogue presidency with Germany, Portugal, and Slovenia. Those three got together because it takes, of course, some time to get some legislation done, to get projects done. And so those three worked on stuff together. And so Germany started it last year when they had the presidency, then Portugal continued, and now Slovenia will bring a lot of that stuff over the finish line. A lot happened in the Portuguese presidency as well, of course. But now it will be Slovenia, and they will get a lot of things done as well. And that's the point why I wanted to bring that up today, especially that I now am celebrating a little bit because my Europe channel also has been accepted into the YouTube partnership program. So I just want to thank you to all of you who are watching that channel too. For those who don't know about the YouTube partnership program, you have to join that program to have your channel monetized, and that means you become a YouTube partner, and YouTube then puts ads on the channel like you see it here or on the other channels, and that's already my second channel, and only since I started the second channel just under 8 months ago. And that's looking at what happened with my first channel and how long it took until I learned a little bit about how to do YouTube and stuff like this. I'm quite proud of this, to have done this with a second channel in 8 months, and even my global channel is not so far behind that either. And so I'm really grateful for all the people who are interested in what I'm doing. It's not in German we say selbstverständlich, but I'm missing the English word there. So you just can't expect that. But I'm really happy that people are interested in what I'm doing and are watching my videos, are supporting my channels. And so thank you very much for that one. And I'm really celebrating the Europe channel success at the moment. So I'm really happy. That's why I've got something for you as well on the next thing. But I still want to talk a little bit about the Europe one. I'm making videos there of too, and I'll try most of the days to bring something about Slovenia as well, either about the presidency, the new achievements, developments of the presidency, and of course a little bit more about Slovenia. But I want you to know a little bit about the country that holds the presidency at the moment. So that was just a little bit of the extra information here that's not completely connected to outside views in just the UK. But the presidency will have influence on the negotiations with the UK as well, of course. There's a monsoon about to pass over London in the next hour, so oh god. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll be watching the game later on as well, of course. But first of all, I quickly want to say another thank you, and that has to do a little bit with a little gift I can give you for my celebrations at the moment. I of course picked that one. It's not one of my top sellers, but the by the way, the Ireland one is my top sellers. But I want to say thank you to the people who supported my channel via buying the merch. It really gained some momentum there at the moment, and especially I want to say thank you to my Irish viewers who obviously have a lot of interest in my Ireland merch. Thank you very much, whoever got something there. I don't want to advertise here now, but I have to say thank you, because I really appreciate that. And making those designs takes time as well. And I'm trying to find something with a meaning in the background. And some of you really appreciate that, and that's why want to really say thank you to all of you, and especially the Irish fans that bought so much of the Irish merch I've got. Thank you very much. And just for today, as a picture, of course, today I used the Italy ones. They have been bought as well, but the Irish ones are my top scorer at the moment. And the unicorn. The unicorn is taking some momentum, and a very simple one with a My Identity European. So the European identity shot up to second place today. That's why I changed the merch shop you always see under my videos. There I put my top 12 bestsellers in there. And European identity almost caught Ireland. So thank you for those people as well. And especially the ones, there are some who bought larger numbers. I really appreciate that. You helped me get some stuff. I could change my studio because I use a lot of that money from the merch for my studio, and you helped me improve here, even if I'm on a building site now because of the interviews. But I want you to know that I don't think it's something, you're supposed to do. No, I really appreciate that. I recognize what's going on there, and I really want to say thank you. And then that was just a quick fun thing. Of course, I want to talk about the game today. I know not every one of you is interested in football, but today is the big final, and of course we have to talk about the final. It will be England versus Italy. And even the European Commission was commenting on that. I don't know if you've seen my video when I talked about the press conference of the EU, where they asked about who Ursula von der Leyen will be cheering for tonight. And of course, she said she will cheer for Italy as the president of the Commission of the European Union, because she will cheer for the EU country playing there. And the only EU country in the finals tonight is Italy. So you might speak about the Tour de France sometime. The last time I watched the Tour de France was when Jan Ullrich was driving there, and we know how that one ended up. So no, I'm sorry, I haven't watched it in ages. I watched ski jumping and biathlon in the winter. I can talk about that one, but I haven't seen many UK teams there, so it would be the wrong channel. Or let's say not, I haven't even seen the teams from there. Maybe we see some Scottish teams there in the future. But this time, it's even part of EU press conferences, as I said, and so it was quite funny. But usually the spokesman who was asked does not answer questions that don't have to do with the topic he's talking about at the moment. But in this case, he did, and he did give the answer from Ursula von der Leyen. If England wins, they will believe they are superior than Europeans for sure. Well, what I believe is, if England wins tonight, which is possible, Brexiteers will definitely claim that they only won after, what was it now, 55, 56 years since the last time they won a big tournament, that it was because of Brexit. But even the national coach of England doesn't believe that, and he is Southgate is definitely not a Brexiteer. He's against Brexit, and he will definitely disagree. Yeah, 1966 as a Leaf Huntress. Thank you very much. As a German, I do remember that well, even if I wasn't born that time. We definitely have talked about that date here quite a lot in regards to football. And I'm not going to start about the semi-finals and the penalty England got into the finals with. That will be a longer discussion and a longer monologue of mine. I have to hold a monologue here for ages anyway in the live streams. But I'm looking for having some visitor here again sometime soon, I hope. I invited someone, I still don't have an answer there, so I hope that will happen. So, but Seloni, you started with something I wanted to ask for now, because I would like to know what you think how the game tonight will end. Zelonir says England 1, Italy 2, and COVID 3000. Yeah, leave out the COVID ones. What will be the result tonight? What do you think? Conservative, a lot of Scots will cheer for Italy as well. Yeah, I heard that one already quite some time, several times already. So, what do you think? What will be the result tonight? And in the end, I'll tell you what I think. England 0, Italy 2, says Hank. Okay. Oh yeah, Stanley brought something up I wanted to mention again as well. I forgot that. The booing during national anthems. It's something so rude. Why can't people at least behave? Italy will win. Katrina says 5-0 for Italy. Oh, that's a bit high. Yellow Apple says Italy 2-1. Yeah, but this booing thing. Why is that? Why are the English fans that rude? They must have some manners. Conservator also says 2-1. Yeah, but why don't they? That is something that would never come up in my mind. Not at the national anthem of another country. Well, it's not North Korea. Big Marsh says 2-1 for England. Leonardo da Vinci says, oh, Leonardo, buonasera. Italy 2, England 1. No, but these insulting people. I don't know why you have to do this. I would never boo at another one's national anthem. When I was based in the Netherlands as a young soldier, okay, that's another thing. I even had to salute at the Dutch national anthem, which I absolutely don't mind. Just don't get me wrong. I really like that, by the way. I don't sing other countries' national anthems, but the Netherlands ones is quite nice. Mark, I truly hope the final between Germany and the Netherlands, but we will see each other in the World Cup final next year. Yeah, that would be fun, but it depends a little bit on our new national coach, because the team we had the last 3 years was not that great. I'm a realistic person, and the German team wasn't that great. We had some good players, but Jogi Löw did quite a lot for the team. He achieved a lot, but I think he stayed a little bit too long. No offense to him, but he was a great coach, but we should have had a change earlier. Big Marsh says 2-1 for England. Italian defense are slow. Yeah, but Italian defense are not that bad. I think it's going to be an exciting game. Mark, of course, you like the Dutch national anthem. The lyrics say, "We are of German blood and we honor the King of Spain." Yeah, it's a little bit historical. Let's keep it that way. And our languages are not that different, Leaf Huntress. So, living that close to the Dutch border, I don't really make that big of a difference. But of course, because of the pandemic, I haven't been to Holland for quite some time, or to Limburg or Brabant, but I will go there too again, even if it's only for shopping. No, but it's going to be an interesting game tonight, and it's an open game as well. Um, I think both can win, and despite everything Brexiteers always claim about who I hate, um, if Italy wins, I'll congratulate them. If England wins, I'll congratulate them. If not the referee is the reason for the win, then they will have deserved it. And but of course, I'm a little bit more on the side of Italy today because they are the EU team. No, but that's total nonsense. That was a joke by the Commission spokesman as well. Politics. This has nothing to do with politics. The Italian team is playing the English team, and the best team will win. Period. And it has nothing to do with politics. Neither the EU nor Brexit has any influence on those games except the decisions with the stadium and COVID, but that's another point. And yeah. Kathy says, I like our Irish anthem. I haven't heard it that much, I must say. I really like the Japanese one, by the way. And of course, the French one is a very well-known one. What I think is always funny is when you watch American movies, and they are sitting in restaurants, in some high-class restaurants, I sometimes fell laughing from my chair because in the background there was a small orchestra with violins and stuff, and they played music for the ambient there of the expensive restaurant. And in several movies, I already heard them play the German anthem on violins and stuff like that. So yeah, quite interesting. But it was not an anthem in the first place, so it's still part of our musical heritage as well. So it's a very frank thing. So no, but the majority of you believes that Italy will win. I most hope for a very exciting game. I always love the games that end up in penalties. So a very long game. We have a lot of time to watch, and then also the penalty shooting. And there were some very interesting ones. Just remember Spain. That's always what we call a krimi, so like a criminal series. I love that stuff, but we will see how it will go. The defense of the English is usually good. They only got one goal from the other side so far in the whole tournament. We will see if Italy can crack that, or if the English wall, and I'm not saying the red wall, the English wall will stand today. But it's gonna be exciting. Although during the game I have to edit all the videos for tomorrow because I have filmed them all yet today, but I haven't edited them. So during the game I will have to edit a lot of videos for tomorrow. So I'll be working until tonight again. But I really like to do that for you. And if you haven't considered it yet, I also, like the others, like Max, like Phil, and so on, I do have a Discord server, and you can get access there if you are a patron. And I publish, for example, all links to all my videos every day that I publish on all the channels, so you don't miss anything. And I sometimes publish some stuff else there, like the announcement I still have for the merch stuff I forgot, and I made it especially for you, so I have to go back for 1 second, because to celebrate the success of the Europe channel, I decided for 2 weeks until the 25th of July, you can get a 10% discount on everything on my Teespring. That's the merch that's under the videos as well. You can get 10% with a promotion code 0027. So it's a Europe channel that's 27. So 0027. With that code, you can get 10% discount. So if you ever thought about getting something there, now you can get it 10% cheaper. Just want to say that I will put that on my Patreon, of course, as well. And I put it, it's not only for my Patreons, so I will also put it on my community tab latest tomorrow. So you can use it if you ever thought about getting something there. Now you can get it a bit cheaper with a promo code. That's why I didn't want to forget that one for those watching. But for now, I want to thank you once again for taking part. I want to wish you a great game if you want watching. I will love to watch that later on. And of course, I will talk about the result, but that will be on Tuesday, because the videos for tomorrow, as I said, I filmed them all. I just have to edit them now. And I will film, when I film the videos tomorrow, I'll definitely say something about the games. And thank you all for joining me on a Sunday night again. I know it's not the best time to do that, but more than 70 viewers was a great thing. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Conservator, for helping me out with moderating again. Really appreciate that. And I hope to see all of you tomorrow morning in my next videos. And by the way, there will be some premieres on my new Queerview channel in the future. That means there's a video, but I'll be watching it live with the viewers, and some of my guests might be live there in the chat as well. So I'll let you know when that happens, but that's why I'm having some interviews this week again. It's for that channel. It's in German, but if you understand some German, have a look there, and I will have some premieres there where you can chat with me like right now with the chat, only that I'm not writing, I'm talking. But in that case, I will writing, and then we can watch it together. But I'll let you know. But that's what the interviews this week are for as well. So thanks. See you soon, and have a nice evening, and have a lot of